Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a Bone Necromancer showcase. I wanted to make a Necro as a second character this season, and my original plan was to make kind of a budget character with lots of magic find, and ended up kind of enjoying the build quite a bit and making this monstrosity. So here we are. So what's new with Bone this season? Very few things, except that now the Teeth skill costs less mana than before, so that makes it easier to gear. Other changes, I'd say, Bone Armor now gives enhanced defense. It's been like that for a while, I think, but I wasn't aware. It's a very nice change because you can get pretty high defense number without any Defiance aura, which is awesome. Love that. And the other change I would say that's consequential is you can now get magic skill damage on a crafted wand, which is pretty broken. So I'd say, I think the rule of thumb going around is 5% is about equal to 1 skill. Therefore you can get some very powerful wands and some pretty high damage because of it. So let's jump right into the gear. I know most people want to see that. So this is my crafted wand, as you can see. Some pretty good jewels in there, magic find corruption, but just otherwise 6 skills, magic skill damage, some FCR as well, few resists, and so on. Steel carapace as a chest. This is what gives me the 10k armor. I see a lot of people running different FCR armors with less defense. Defense is definitely a very good thing for this build, as I mentioned earlier. Plus 4 20 FCR AMI, plus 4 circlet, no FCR. Ended up going with this combo here, 20 FCR boots along with this circlet to get one more skill. Wasn't able to find a good plus 4 and 20 FCR circlet, so I decided to go with this for this season. Plus 6 10 FCR shield with MF corruption. I'm using a Citadel again. I really like this ring, and I got a really nice corrupt for it, so kind of cool to have this. Arachnid Mesh, BK, FCR, and these gloves as well. Charms, pretty standard. This is like the best setup, max damage setup for the charm. So the focus, what I'm trying to do with this gear is just get as much damage as possible, and I'm using the Merc to kind of make up for the resist. So that's kind of the idea behind this build in the end. I got MF Corrupt here, MF Corrupt here, MF here, MF here as well. So overall quite a bit of MF on this jewel as well. So overall pretty good MF as well, just a nice little 100 magic find in the end without sacrificing any damage at all. Still going max damage everywhere. Like I said, charm's pretty standard. For the Merc, I'm using the A4 Merc again for max damage, using the highest Sanctuary aura I can get. So he has a level 30, and I'm giving him 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 more skills. So he has level 38 Sanctuary, which I think is 24 Pierce. I might be wrong on that. You might want to double check this, but I think it's like the max I can get, really. So Sanctuary, it doesn't have the best range, but when you'll see me in maps, I try to kind of move pretty fast, and I think I carry the aura pretty good, following my casts and my projectiles. So I think it's worth it. That's what I've been playing, and I'm using Zenith to make up for all my resists. So my resists are pretty low, but with the Merc aura, we're just fine. So it's kind of the idea there. Otherwise, he has his FCR breakpoint as well. As far as my own stats, we have 125 FCR, 87 FHR, 15 life after each kill, 6 mana after each kill. I'd say this is kind of your 12 is probably the minimum here, but this is very comfortable, very nice. Otherwise, that's about it. Like I said, 100 MF, nice defense. As far as skills, just pretty standard. Max teeth, bone armor, bone spear, bone spirit. Then a bunch of points in blood warp, and 3 golems, 3 blood golems. And so we end up with 1200 life, 1700 bone armor, which is pretty solid. And I think that pretty much sums it up. Pretty straightforward. I really like the build. It's super dynamic to play. I could see how if you have lower damage, maybe sometimes you need to cast too much, but from my standpoint, I only need to cast Teeth twice most times. I use Bone Spear a bit for higher HP mobs and T3 maps or whatever, and I use Bone Spirit for the bosses. So it's pretty fun to play. I try to warp pretty fast, like I said, carry the aura to the next mobs and use that as much as possible. Sometimes, like, Teeth doesn't pierce, so sometimes if it's very high density, I'll cast a bit more, or I'll use some Bone Spear. I use Bone Spear as well on bridges, like very tight corridors, that type of thing. But still, overall, I really like using Teeth and just covering large areas with it. I think it's very fun, very satisfying, and pretty strong if your damage is high enough. So the damage I end up with, 11k tooltip here, but really 10k 969, which is really the highest I was able to go to. There's maybe like one more skill I could get somewhere in here, but it's pretty hard to get there at this point, so I think this is going to be the max damage output for this season. Unless, who knows, maybe I craft something even better, we'll see. So that's kind of where we're at. So that's about it. I'll push this character probably up to 97 again, and I'll leave you to some map footage. I'll show you a T3, T2, T1. My favorite T3 for this build is Citadel. T2, I'd say Demon Road and Skovos are really fun, and T1, uncontested, it's Sewers. That's the best map for this build. So that's about it. Enjoy the footage. See you next time.